Good morning students. We'll continue with the 12th standard economics lesson 9. In that next last topic is that fiscal policy. So fiscal policy in the sense how the government budgetary manipulation, how the budget are to be used, how they are manipulating for the purpose of employment, for the saving and the investment. இதுக்கெல்லாம் எப்படி யூஸ் பண்றாங்க இந்த பட்ஜெட்டை அப்படின்றது தான் fiscal policy. So here according to that the definition means the physical policy means public finance tax எல்லாம் collect பண்றது the government how its expenditure is going on, where and all their expenditure is they are doing, how they collecting tax, how they are borrowing loans and fund from externally internally, இதெல்லாமே to uplift the national income, to benefit the citizens. That's what the fiscal policy. In that the fiscal policy can be implemented using the physical instrument. We can call it as an instrument or physical tools we can call it. So there are three types. First one is the taxation. Taxation means collecting the tax from the people and giving to the government. That means transfer of fund for tax from the people to the government. Tax people கிட்ட இருந்து வாங்கி government கொடுக்கிறது. It may be a direct or indirect, it can be. So tax disposal of income can be, if it's there, tax should be raised. Inflation time la tax raise பண்ணல, depression period la tax we can reduce it. Next is public expenditure. Means if you raise the wage salary of a persons or a citizens or a employees, means automatically to demand for the goods and services நிறைய பொருள் வாங்க ஆரம்பிப்பாங்க. So they will start expenditure for the each person will be increasing. Expenditure started increasing. So then will be the reduced, or we can control the inflation. எல்லாருக்கிட்டையும் காசு புழக்கம், supply of money will be controlled. Everything will come into the government if they started buying the product needs. Next is a public debt. Public debt means government borrowings as a loans or a transferring fund internally, externally or public to the government. That is as it is a public debt. Next topic is we'll go for the objectives of fiscal policy. Say there are 7 objectives. In that full employment, price stability, economic growth, equitable distribution, that is equally distribution of finance, everything both together. Next, external stability, capital formation and regional balance. In that we'll go for the first, employment. Usually if it's a developing country or a developed country, the main aim of the fiscal policy is to give the full job opportunity to its citizen, so that they can increase the standard of living. So according to India, in India this public expenditure in the rural employment program was implemented, launched. There is one program MGNREGS. That means expansion of this is Mahatma Gandhi National Rural Employment Grantee Scheme, grants and scheme. That is what the MGNREGS, grants and scheme. So on basis of this scheme, the employment opportunity will be given to the citizens. Next, price stability. Price stability in the sense, if it's mismatched between the demand and supply, demand தகுந்த மாதிரி supply goods இருக்கணும். இப்போ imbalance ஆச்சுனா, that's what they're telling, mismatched அப்படின்னா it will start a inflation. But started inflation means excess of demand. So government expenditure will be more excess ஆயிடும். So to do that one, the government expenditure has to be cut short. எல்லாத்தையும் நிறுத்திடும். They want to do infrastructure facility, everything they're doing expenditure of a government day-to-day act, everything they have to reduce and stop. Then that whatever the demand on, they will spend for the privately. That means a private purpose, the government people or those are politicians, they will use taxes for their private purpose they will do. That everything should be reduced. Then only it will be control. We can control the inflation. Then automatically there will be a disposable of income. Reduce the disposable of income, and there will be aggregate demand. That means that there will be no more demand for the goods. For particular product or anything, if started increasing more, நிறைய demand for one goods தான் price of that product will increase. அப்போ price increase ஆயிட்டே இருந்துச்சுன்னா அப்பதான் inflation வரும். இதை அவாய்ட் பண்ணணும்னா government expenditure should be stopped. Automatically tax எல்லாம் என்ன ஆயிடும், they will increases. tax எல்லா ப்ராடக்ட்டும் இன்க்ரீஸ் ஆச்சுன்னா tax கட்டுறதுக்கு நிறைய காசு போயிட்டுன்னா people don't have money in their hand. liquidity மணியை வச்சிருக்க மாட்டாங்க. So to do this one, the government implementing. So if it's in inflation, if it's a depression period, trade cycle அப்படின்னா increase the government expenditure. Infrastructure level எல்லாம் started increase. அப்போ reduce the tax reduce பண்ணினா and the government can do all the spendings. Infrastructure they can do. The people also will have the money in their debt. They will start saving the money. Using that saving money, the government can take it for their for a period of time. That fund and all can be used for the development of their nation. Next we'll go for the economic growth. Economic growth means what are the tax what we are collecting, increasing tax we are using, that should be used for the productive purpose. சும்மாவே காசு வச்சுட்டு இருந்தா what is the use? So அந்த tax எல்லாமே it should be used for the productive purposes, for the employment opportunity, anything they have to use. So a productive purpose if we wanted to use அப்படின்னா we have to do the investment. எதெல்லாம் போட்டு encourage பண்ணி private sector industry எதனா start பண்ணணும். Investment we have to do. To do that one, the government is adopting one of the clue or they are doing tax holiday and tax rebate in ரெண்டு word ஒன்று இருக்கும். Tax holiday அப்படின்னா tell the companies or a person not to pay the tax, otherwise pay the less tax. If they're telling means that company or a person will be encouraged to do that amount and take that amount and start a new business, or an individual can save the money in the bank, means that can be used. The interest will come for the government. Next one more is a tax rebate in word. Tax rebate means the person is paying more tax, expected பண்ணது நிறைய tax, refund the tax. So if you refund means that person or a company will be encouraged to pay the tax regularly, and also that tax, excess of tax he can use it to start a new business. That's what they, instead of giving investment in the private sector, start to encourage the public sector. So after you using all this tax, if it's not adequate அப்படின்னா inadequate, இது பத்தல இந்த tax எல்லாமே கலெக்ட் பண்ணி வச்சு கூட பத்தல, if it's inadequate na, then the government can borrow from internally externally. அப்பதான் government வந்து வெளியில இருந்து கடன் வாங்குவோம். Borrow from internal and external for the benefit of the people to start a new project for the citizens, for the development of the country. Next is a equitable distribution. So the progressive tax rate will reduce the gap between rich and poor. Tax எல்லாருமே ஒழுங்கா pay பண்ணிட்டு இருந்தா government will have a more money. அப்போ government can give a more facility or a benefit to the poor people. அப்போ rich and the poor gap won't be there. So the public expenditure for then the government can give this tax. They can implement the scheme, welfare scheme, free education, noon meal, afternoon meal in the primary schools or middle schools, then they can subsidies or anything fund they to promote the standard of living of the poor people, those who don't have a basic needs. For them, government can give the schemes and welfare facility to that people. So it can reduce the gap between the rich and the poor. Next, exchange stability. So exchange stability means exchanging international level number country oda amount with the other. If that only will decide what is the current rate of a rupees. So the tax concession should be given சலுகைகள் கொடுக்கணும், சப்சிடி ஃபார் த எக்ஸ்போர்ட். இந்த லோக்கலில் இருக்கிற கம்பெனிஸ் ஆர் பிஸ்னஸ்மேன்ஸ்க்கு அந்த அவங்களுடைய பொருளை மற்ற கண்ட்ரிக்கு எக்ஸ்போர்ட் பண்ணுறதுக்கு we have to encourage, we have to boost them. ஸோ இன்ஸ்டெட் ஆஃப் இம்போர்ட்டிங் வேறு கண்ட்ரிலேருந்து நம்ம கண்ட்ரிக்கு அன்னெசரி நான் எசென்ஷியல் குட் ஆனால் நம்ம ஆன்லைனில் ஷாப் பண்ணி சைனாலேயும் ஃபாரின் கண்ட்ரிலையும் வந்து வாங்குறத நிறுத்திட்டு வாட் அண்ட் ஆர் இட்ஸ் ரா மெட்டீரியல்லாம் ஃபாரின்லேருந்து வாங்க, மிஷினரிலேருந்து அந்த மாதிரிலாம் வாங்காத வாட் அண்ட் ஆல் இட்ஸ் லோக்கலி வாட் வி ஹேவிங் யூஸ் இட் அண்ட் மேக் என்கரேஜ்மெண்ட் டு எக்ஸ்போர்ட் அவர் goods to foreign country. Then we will have more money, then our rupees value also will be increased. Next, capital formation. Capital formation in the sense a tax relief to the disposable income. That means a savings. We can form the government. That means government expenditure and any infrastructure. If it's a tax everybody started paying, means government will have a more fund with their hand. Then the government can use that fund on this for the expenditure of infrastructure, develop the country in the power projects or transport facility when compared to developed country. Equal we can give and we can encourage private sectors, we can invest on the private sector, we can do it. Next, regional balance. That means those backward states, backward places is there, means if we use that tax to that people also. That means regional imbalance won't be there. Narrow down central government ko state government ko illana oru state kom pakathu state kom we have to reduce the imbalance. Misunderstanding should not be there, so that those are having a less developed backward region la irukra மலைவாழ் அப்படின்னு எல்லாம் ஒரு டிஸ்ட்ரிக்டே ஒரு கண்ட்ரியே ஒரு ஸ்டேட்டே இருந்துச்சுன்னா அந்த ஸ்டேட்டில் போய் வி கேன் தோஸ் ஹேவிங் மெட்ரோபாலிட்டன் அந்த டேக்ஸை அவங்களுக்கும் யூஸ் பண்ணலாம். வி கேன் யூஸ் இட் பேக்வர்ட் ரீஜனில் இருக்கிற யூஸ் பண்ணால் வி கேன் ஸ்டார்ட் இண்டஸ்ட்ரி எஸ்டேட்ஸ் or industrial activity schemes also can be given to that people also, then their standard of living also can be developed. So these are all about the fiscal policy and also the end of the lesson 9. Thank you.